John Kiriakou is the former CIA officer who joins us tonight. John, thanks very much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You worked at CIA for a long time under John Brennan, who ultimately backed your prosecution, for which you were sent to prison for a crime that I don't think would be considered a crime today. So tell me, with that perspective, your reaction to watching John Brennan trotted out before the cameras daily almost for the last 2 years as an expert on the Russia conspiracy.
I think this was scandalous for a number of reasons, the most important of which is that John Brennan has repeatedly used the word treason, the word traitor, when describing the president. Treason is a death penalty charge. Is he seriously saying, or has he been saying, that the president ought to be executed for something having to do with a scandal that really never existed? To me, John Brennan just simply is not a serious person. He shouldn't be taken seriously by us or by anybody else. And I'm going to get a little bit personal here, too. I worked with John Brennan for many, many years. I always thought that he was in over his head intellectually, and I think he's proven that repeatedly in his responses and reactions to the news coming out of this investigation.
You know, it's funny you said that. I think the default assumption for most people, including me, is that the director of the CIA is a very smart man.
The best and the brightest.
It's a very complex job.
It is.
I've watched him closely in his public performances over the past couple of years, and I've concluded that he's not very bright. I'm not attacking him.
No,
it's okay.
That's an observation.
But it's clearly the case. How does a guy like that run the CIA? How do you get that job?
You get that job by latching on to George Tenet before George Tenet even entered the CIA. John Brennan in the 1990s was George Tenet's briefer when George was at the National Security Council as the director of intelligence programs. And so when George became the deputy director of the CIA, he took John over with him and then just promoted him through the ranks until he was practically cabinet level. I mean, that's how senior
he became. So just pure cronyism is what you're saying.
That's all it was, and it took less than a decade. He was on a rocket ride to the top of his career track at the CIA.
So now, I guess the result of all of this stuff that we've watched for a couple of years is that the ordinary person, me, everyone else, knows that these agencies are run by people who are much less impressive than we thought, with political agendas, and in some cases are ruthless and cruel. You're one of the people who felt the sting of that. You went to prison.
I did, thanks to John Brennan.
Guys like Roger Stone are headed to prison because of that. Where are the pardons here? I mean, is it time for the executive branch to send a really clear message? We're going to stop the destruction of innocent people by completely out-of-control bureaucrats.
I think it is the time for pardons. I heard Senator Lindsey Graham say earlier today that pardons probably would not be met very well right now in the United States Senate. I think he's wrong. I think that the American people understand that people have been wronged. Look at Mike Flynn. What that poor guy has gone through. Look at Roger Stone. You know, these are all process felonies, Tucker. We talked about this once before. These are felonies that really didn't exist until these people were thrown into this investigation.
That's exactly right.
They're crimes that would never have been committed otherwise. Since the investigation has come to naught, I think it's time to wipe the slate clean.
And by the way, it doesn't make sense not to pardon people.
I agree.
You think this is a scam and a hoax, and the people in charge are illegitimate, then you have an obligation to make it right by pardoning the people who are wronged, and I hope you're on that list.
Thank you so much.
Great to see you tonight. Thank you.
The pleasure's always mine.
Good afternoon. Today, good afternoon. Today, as you have figured out, the state made a motion to nollie pros the charges against Jussie Smollett and to seal the record in this case. We believe that it was the correct result in this case, and we are very anxious for Jussie to get on with his career and his life and to move forward. I'll take any questions. This is not, there is no deferred prosecution. The motion was to nollie pros, which is a legal technical term for dismiss the charges.
Why did he give up bond money?
Jussie voluntarily agreed to the forfeiture of the bond money.
So is it?
We believe to the city of Chicago, but we don't know.
Is this a deal or not a deal if he's giving up his bond?
There is no deal. The state dismissed the charges. There's nothing. We have nothing to say to the police department except to investigate charges and not try their cases in the press, but to allow matters to be investigated, allow the state to investigate and to bring charges, and not to jump ahead and utilize the press to convict people before they are tried in a court of law.
Are you going to seek legal recourse for the city? Are you going to seek legal recourse to the city or the two brothers?
Next question.
You won't say whether you'll seek recourse?
Do you think that the city put a lot of attention on this because of the pressure that was coming from not just here in Chicago, but with all the attention nationwide?
I have no idea what occurred in this case and why it occurred. I can just say that things seem to spiral somewhat out of control. We've gotten to a result that is the right result in this case, and we're happy for that. I have no idea what. Plenty of people forfeit their bond in situations like this. Jussie is, and as if you were in the courtroom, heard the prosecutor say, and we made sure that the prosecution knew. He is someone who has dedicated his life to public service since he was 15 years old. He has taken the city of Chicago as his home. He has volunteered in a variety of ways. He is a good, solid citizen of the city of Chicago. That was the comment made by the prosecutor today. And the Ondero brothers said more than once that the $3,500 check they received was for exactly what Jussie said. It was for nutrition and training. They were his trainers. That statement was not true. I don't know where the superintendent got that information. I was not privy to it, and quite frankly have not seen that footage. So I have no idea where that came from, which is why you should allow investigation and allow the state to investigate a charge before you go to the press. I have no idea. I don't have information that the state would have as to why they brought these charges. I don't know. You'd have to ask the state. The two men who attacked him have indicated that they attacked him. So we already know who attacked him. Those brothers have, well, that's up to the state.
To be clear, the $10,000 is that a condition of dropping the charges or giving that money?
No.
The two men who attacked my brothers, why are you doing it?
Well, the two brothers have said that they attacked him. So,
If he's a victim,
we don't want to try them in the press any more than he wanted to be tried in the press. That decision was made so that he could go on with his life and get this over with and not have to fight and not have to continue with all of the disruption to his career. He is a very sweet individual who has for a lifetime dedicated himself to his career, to the public, to children, to the movement in the LGBTQIA community. And this was a disruption to that. He wants to get back to it. I'll allow you to hear from him briefly, and then we're gone.
Hey, everybody. I just made a couple notes. First of all, I want to thank my family, my friends, the incredible people of Chicago and all over the country and the world who have prayed for me, who have supported me, who've shown me so much love. No one will ever know how much that has meant to me, and I will forever be grateful. I want you to know that not for a moment was it in vain. I've been truthful and consistent on every single level since day one. I would not be my mother's son if I was capable of one drop of what I've been accused of. This has been an incredibly difficult time, honestly one of the worst of my entire life. But I'm a man of faith, and I'm a man that has knowledge of my history, and I would not bring my family, our lives, or the movement through a fire like this. I just wouldn't. So I want to thank my legal counsel from the bottom of my heart. And I would also like to thank the state of Illinois for attempting to do what's right. Now I'd like nothing more than to just get back to work and move on with my life. But make no mistakes, I will always continue to fight for the justice, equality, and betterment of marginalized people everywhere. So again, thank you for all the support. Thank you for faith, and thank you to God. Bless y'all. Thank you very much.
Jesse, are your attackers still out there?
Obviously, if this is right, we can get a lot of questions as to why this emergency hearing was called so quickly. You're all left kind of scrambling to find out that these charges have dropped. That there's message from the media. It's kind of strange. Once the charges would be dropped. So the questions continue to swirl as to why the state would make that decision, why Chicago police would essentially back off. That's what a lot of the questions were focused on in this press conference.
Yeah, come take a picture of me.
I feel like,
See you, bro. I don't know.